Hello and welcome live to the CECA North East 2020 Awards. My name's Danny Gray. I am from a company called PTI Worldwide, and it's been these first ever virtual awards. And instead of you meeting up in a hotel and having a nice social gathering, we thought it was really, really important to make sure we still took the time to celebrate and share in the successes of those around us and those in the industry. Couple of things just to make sure you get the best possible experience. Please do make sure that you use Speak of You. That'll give you a full screen picture of Stuart and I, and that way then you'll get the best possible experience watching all the different things we've got to talk through. And enjoy, just enjoy. Stuart, nice to see you. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Danny. I'm not sure a full screen picture view of us is what you wanted, but you're going to get it anyway if that's what you choose. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our first ever virtual awards. We're delighted to see so many people. Just a quick introduction. I'm Stuart Miller, Regional Director with CECA North East, and a quick sort of question we asked ourselves around why these awards were important. The first thing was we said, let's get together and let's try and not squander the opportunity where we might have missed doing them due to COVID because of obviously being able to get face-to-face. So we dreamed up this idea of coming up with the virtual awards, and we really want to try and celebrate the great things that our contractor members have done in the past year or so. We also want to celebrate with colleagues, with partners, with clients as well. We had questioned ourselves, what does this mean for the region? And what does this mean for CECA members? And actually, well, the first thing this dinner tends to normally mean, if it was a dinner, would be it's nearly Christmas. Well, we all know that, and it would probably also mean we'd be waking up with sore heads tomorrow morning. And I'll leave that one up to you as to whether you wake up with a sore head tomorrow morning or not. But this afternoon, what we want to try and do is acknowledge the achievements of the industry. So, first of all, for me, thank you for supporting CECA as CECA members. We really couldn't do all this stuff without you, but also thanks for supporting all of the local communities that you operate in. It shouldn't go unnoticed that we know as contractors we do so much for people in the communities where we're actually delivering projects. So thank you for all the work that you do in delivering social value to the communities that you work in. Whilst I'm on thank yous, I'll also say, if you don't mind, Danny, thank you very much to all of the sponsors who've chosen to work with us today. Actually, you know, we've got to recognise that we asked the sponsors at fairly short notice, do you want to come and join us and be part of this? And the sponsors took a leap of faith and said, yes, we do, even though we've got nothing to sort of benchmark this on from the past. So excellent. Thanks so much for all of the sponsors. And we will mention this once or twice, but won't overburden everybody with this. But we have chosen to try and support a charity throughout this awards as well. And what we thought was, on the back of Marcus Rashford's sort of campaign around food poverty, that would really do our best to try and raise a little bit of money to help people who are, you know, in disadvantaged positions, and try and do our bit to tackle food poverty as the civil engineering community. So there is a link in the chat function that you can log on to. I've created a Just Giving page on behalf of CECA, and but we'll try and give you some updates as to how far we've got with that. So I'll hand back to Danny.
Fantastic. So we have got a lot to celebrate. I'll just kind of kickstart that charity part. There was already a very kind donation that kickstarted that earlier on today from PTI. We'll get one in the mix as well and get that on there. Let's see if we can get that target up to the 100% mark. That would be really good. And we'll keep you posted as we go through time. Now, the only other thing I would ask before I kind of get into things is cameras on. I can see loads of wonderful faces. We can see all of you. For those of you I'm on, so it's great to see you. I can give you a wave. Look, you can wave back. Those who've got your cameras on, fantastic, great. You don't have to have it on. It just helps us connect that little bit better with you. So if you fancy doing that, please feel free to do so. There's 70 different people on this already so far, so lots of people to get involved in what's taking place. And I think it is worth talking about how much there is to celebrate. When I first got involved in this, and funny enough, I've known Stuart for quite some time, but a few months ago we were chatting over various bits and pieces, and he says, "Oh, Danny, I've got the CECA North East Business Awards to arrange." He said, and I'm not really sure what to do. And we started talking about this virtual event. And one of the things that really stood out to me then, and has done so over the last couple of months pulling all this together, is it is about the awards. It is about celebrating, great achievement, personal achievement and project achievement. But this is also about celebrating how great it is in this industry in the Northeast. I'm not originally from the Northeast, although I've lived there now for quite some time. And whilst we broadcast here today from Warwick, as a person that lives in the Northeast, I'm always very proud of being involved with and watching all the amazing things that take place. And pulling this together has been no exception. So thank you for helping me and Stuart share in this opportunity to recognise and acknowledge all of those fantastic things. So moving into, I guess, our first thing to share with you, I want to share with you a short film by Alistair Reisner, who is, Stuart, I always say this because I am actually learning now, but who is Stuart? Who's Alistair?
So Alistair is the Chief Executive of CECA National.
Fantastic. So Alistair's got a few words to say about his view of the civils industry.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm really sad that we can't actually meet face to face tonight. It's always a great evening, the CECA North East dinner, but I'm delighted that you guys have gone ahead with the awards tonight. To me, it's evidence of the way that the industry has responded to the crisis that we found ourselves in since March this year. We found new ways of working, new ways of doing things, so we can continue to deliver. I think for CECA, it's been a really interesting, exciting and challenging year. I'm delighted with the way that the whole organisation, the whole association has worked together to play a part in developing these solutions for industry. Way back in March, we pulled together with all of the other industry federations to start putting in place those rules to make it safe to work on site, to look after our workforce, but to ensure that you as members could continue the vital work that you do. So it's brilliant tonight that you're celebrating the work that you've been doing. And I want to particularly pay tribute to CECA North East as an organisation, because you've played a hugely important part in the work that we do. Not only do you chair our strategic board that has members telling us the direction we should go in as an organisation, but you also chair our executive group as well, which manages the day-to-day activities of CECA. So through the most challenging year that we've had, CECA North East has been leading the way. So I want to thank Stuart and the team at CECA North East, but also all of you as members for the vital help that you've provided to make sure that we can act on your behalf this year. So thanks very much. Have a great Christmas, and I look forward to hopefully joining you in 2021 for the CECA North East dinner. Thank you.
Great introduction there from Alistair to talk about his view of things. And I think, there is about celebrating success, but it's also acknowledging, 2020 has had its challenges. We're not shy to understanding that. But for me, it's about really capturing the essence of the great news stories that exist within CECA, within civil engineering in the Northeast, and to help tell us a bit about their view of both what's happened in 2020 and how you've all got through it in such a fantastic way, but also a bit of a picture of what's expected to come in the future. I thought I'd catch some time with Jim, your chairman, to share with you his thoughts.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome all the members to the 2020 Regional Award Ceremony. This is our first ever virtual award ceremony, and I hope you're all going to enjoy it. Hopefully, it might not be the last, but we are expecting to try and get back to some kind of normality during 2021. But this might be a format that we still use going forward, so we can reach more people within the community. 2020, how has that affected the civil engineering businesses? Well, COVID-19 came in back in March, and everybody in the Northeast immediately went onto lockdown. This resulted in a drop-off in workload, and people were starting to wonder what was going to happen. But then the rallying cry came from the government to sort of commence construction work, and the way that the civil engineering community came together and adapted their work environment, adapted the working methods to be able to do it with socially distanced practices, meant that we could start work, and construction has continued through 2020 to a point now where we are probably at a level above where we were in 2019, with lots of workload in, very busy, and manufacturers and producers are running short of stock to an extent where that is the next issue we've got, is keeping ahead of the game. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is how the guys adapted to social distancing. When we first started back in April, working again, there was a lot of cries from the general public of, why are people doing this? Why are these guys doing this? These guys are not carrying out social distancing. And it was very, very hard to portray that image of, we're doing this because we've been asked to do it. Well, I think as the sort of epidemic took hold, one of the main things we saw was CECA National taking a leading role in speaking to the government, to requesting support for the civil engineering community, but then the CECA regions actually making sure that all the members were informed of what was going on. From CECA's point of view, the next sort of year, 2 years, there will be a rationalisation, I think, within government of spend. We know that this has caused a massive hole in the coffers of the government, and that's going to have to be repaid. The borrowing is going to have to be put back. And we tend to find in the past, sometimes construction has suffered because of that, because it's an easy one to pump money into when you need to, but it's also quite easy to draw money away from when you're short. And CECA is going to be working very hard with local authorities, with the government, to make sure that we keep that profile going. And from our point of view, we're going to continue with our the services we've always provided. We have regular monthly get-togethers. Normally, again, they would have been in a social environment, but they're transferring onto the web meetings. We're going to be talking about managing remotely to help people, because this is going to be the new world for us. Until this vaccine has everybody sorted, we will be doing a lot more homework, and that managing remotely is a challenge, both physically from the point of view of having your IT solutions ready, but also from a mental case. It is the interaction. We are community-based people. We like to talk to people. We like to have that interaction, and having to do that all from home can be a challenge. And it's how we manage that. So the mental health and well-being of our members will be paramount. And of course, one of the big issues that are coming up is Brexit and how we manage ourselves through that. So we will be doing a programme of events based around those: reverse charging of VAT, managing remotely, mediation, Brexit, and of course, mental health. Yes, in 2020, we've had some changes within the CECA Regional Board. We've had a couple of members retire. More in particular, Kevin, who retired this year, but also from Seymour Construction. And Kevin was the vice chairman of CECA North East. Thankfully, Phil Beaumont has taken on that role going forward, and I'll be looking forward to handing over the chairman's role with him in April. A couple of new members on the board. We've got Sean Lynch, who's come from Northumbrian Roads, who stepped into a vacant position on the board, and we welcome him as well. Okay, and finally from me, I would just like to thank everybody who came on the call today. It is a great opportunity for us to celebrate the awards and what we do as a business, and for you guys out there to give you some recognition back to what you've done in a very turbulent year. So good luck to all those who have put nominations in for the awards. And I would just like to say thank you from me, from Stuart, and all the staff at CECA, and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, and such great insight there, I think, to some of the things we should be celebrating and championing. You know, some great initiatives, brilliant projects, responses to the challenges that we faced as an industry this year, being dealt with in such great ways that it's worth talking about. But of course, also about how we move forward into the future and make sure that we are setting ourselves up to succeed and building on those great news stories that we've had so far. Loads of great projects, which of course leads us to the awards. We really should get those underway and get into the thick of things, because I'm sure you're all dying to find out who has won what. And as such, it's absolutely worth us taking time to stop and say thank you to our sponsors. The sponsors for each of the individual awards, and to our headline sponsor, Core People. Every part of what you've played really helps to make these events possible. So we couldn't be here without you. So thank you for, as Stuart said earlier on, getting on board with something that's a bit new, a little bit different, but it really does make a big difference to us.
Absolutely.
So I thought we'd get Victoria Storer to talk a bit about Core People, and not so much as why they are the headline sponsor, but actually why Victoria and Core People as an organisation see themselves as being really part of this community and what that means to her.
Core People is the longest established recruitment agency specialising in the built environment, and this year we celebrated our 30th birthday. We think it's really important where we can to go beyond the supplier-client transactional relationship. We want to really be part of the industry that we operate in, and to be regarded by the people that we work with as an important part of the industry. Therefore, events such as the CECA Awards, usually dinner every year, is a real opportunity for us to be that, to be part of one of the headline events. For us, even though the awards are being delivered virtually, they're still the awards, and it's still the recognition for the people who have been doing the work. That didn't change, so our sponsorship and our support hasn't changed. It's just another one of the adaptations we've all made throughout this year. We've been a sponsor for probably longer than I can certainly remember, and over 20 years, certainly. It's great to see everything sort of encapsulated for the year, for what's been going on, what people have been involved with in this year. I think the fact that CECA are organising this as a virtual event is another example of how adaptable everybody has been to the circumstances that we've all had to live with this year.
Thank you, Victoria, and thank you to Core People. So our first award is for the most promising trainee civil engineer, and this award is sponsored by CETG, so thank you to them for being a sponsor. Stuart, tell us a bit about this nominee.
Okay, thanks, Danny. Before I tell you a little bit about the nominee, I just want to say to everybody who does receive an award this afternoon that normally would be handing over a nice trophy and be giving you opportunities to get a sort of a nice picture on a stage and that sort of thing. Of course, we can't do that, but what we will do is write to you all individually and make sure that we hand over trophies and certificates that you can display in your cabinets at the front of the office. Nice. And that sort of thing. So we don't want to miss out on that, right. that sort of part of the awards. And for the trainees, we'll also be handing over cheques, as we always do. CECA have sponsored the trainees for I don't know how many years, and we'll continue to do that as well, but we'll just have to do it in a socially distanced way. So, on to the first award and the most promising trainee civil engineer. This was a close contest. People always say that, but it was. And what the winner has done is demonstrated rapid progression in his career to date, working under the supervision on large civil engineering schemes, and then recently where he undertook his own complex project, actually without supervision, so we're seeing progression there. The technical aspects included reinforced concrete slabs and walls, contig piled walls, and steel portal framed buildings. His line manager, which I think is a good vindication of the decision here, commented the following: "He is a single-minded and determined professional, the type that the organisation should strive to attract." So, announcing the winner, Rhys Hibbert from Applebridge Construction. Congratulations, Rhys.
Well done to Rhys. Now, I was really fortunate to have an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with Rhys only recently to find out a bit about the role that he does and a bit about what it means to work at Applebridge Construction. So let's hear from him now.
I've always wanted to work in the construction industry, sort of wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps. He's from construction background, so I always wanted to be just like him. Things I enjoy most about the role I'm currently in is I quite like the pressure of it. So I like working to a time limit and making sure that we're coming in with the right cost. making sure that the things are done right. I quite like to push myself to better myself, to make sure that I can do things right. And my proudest moment since working at Applebridge would be to have seen out the first project I ever started with them, which was the Mount Oswald in Durham student accommodation. It sort of had everything you could ask for an engineer. Things like reinforced concrete walls, contig walls, bolt jigs, steel frame buildings, stuff like that. I just have a passion for, and I'm very glad that I could be a part of that project. What's next? Hopefully a degree. I'd like to progress onto a degree in civil engineering. Because the Applebridge family now, everyone knows everyone type of thing, and we all get on like a house on fire.
Fantastic. And do you know what? I'd like to just say that what a great conversation it was that I had with him in order to make that. He really is and should be really proud of himself for not just winning the award, but for portraying himself in such a professional way. I feel genuinely privileged to have spent that time with him. So thank you, Reese. Onwards then to the next award, this time to the highly commended Trainee Civil Engineer Award, again sponsored by CETG. What do we know about this one, Stuart?
So the reason this person is receiving a highly commended award, will be demonstrated in the following words. This individual took the decision to retrain and become a civil engineer actually in his early 30s. And that's great, attracting new people to our industry. And I think that's a topic we've talked about a lot recently. So a bit of a background, managing sort of busy day job and studying towards an HNC in civil engineering. This person has worked on a number of different projects and difficult projects and remains highly motivated to continue his career development. So again, to get more of a flavour, his line manager commented, and this is important, his drive and commitment to undertake a career change, and in particular, his willingness to take on extra duties and additional training on top of his formal qualifications is commendable. So, announcing the winner, the highly commended, is Stuart Frost from South Bay Civil Engineering. Well done, Stuart.
Fantastic. Well done as well, Stuart, from me. So I think already in that category, both Reese and Stuart are an absolute credit to your industry. So great job for them, but also to the employers of both Reese and Stuart. Well done to you for growing and developing such great individuals within the sector. Next award is another trainee award. This one, though, the most promising trainee quantity surveyor. This one's sponsored by the CECA North East Foundations Group. I'm sure we've got plenty to say about this one, Stuart.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny. I should also mention the Foundations Group. I know I can see one or two people attending from Foundations this afternoon. I can't see everybody on the screen, so hopefully all of the guys from our Foundations Group or Young Professional Group, as we could also let it be known, are attending. And again, normally would ask one of these guys to come on stage and make the presentation. So sorry that we can't do that this year. Anyway, we'll look forward to the Foundations Group growing and developing over the coming months. Anyway, on to the award for the most promising trainee QS. This individual demonstrates a strong commercial acumen, working on various projects, including commercial build and housing schemes. He has developed a particular aptitude for manipulating Excel spreadsheets and developed a bespoke in-house pricing database. He's also recently received a company award for Trainee of the Year and is currently studying an HNC construction course. In the words of his manager, his application and attitude has seen him develop into a key member of the department, where he has been successful in securing significant projects for the company. So this award goes to Matthew Garland of Applebridge Construction.
Fantastic. Well done, Matthew. And once again, only recently, I spent some time with Matthew talking a bit about his job and his role and his interesting career path already on how it's taken its twists and turns. And I've captured some of that conversation that I'd like to share with you now.
To me, Applebridge, we're very work orientated. We like to get things done and we like to get things done right. If you have the ability to succeed, you can go very far in this company, as proved by myself in this last 3 years. So everyone is given a fair shot, and it's definitely been the best company to work for through my expertise. In my current role, I've worked on housing projects and commercial projects, mainly tender and estimating them in values ranging from 0.5 to upwards of £7 million down in Leeds and Yorkshire. I started the company in 2017. I came to the company as a trainee buyer, in which I moved up into the estimating department after they looked at my skills in Excel. Applebridge is a great company to work for. They've helped me through numerous hurdles and they've given me the backing all the way. The thing I enjoy most about the job that I do is a variation of projects that you get. You can tender something that's really small, but it's quite intricate in terms of learning the ins and outs of sites. In the larger schemes as well, just having that responsibility to be able to turn them around and get them over the line is a great feeling. The opportunity that Applebridge has given me has been fantastic. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would have been in the position I was. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Joe, my current boss, and Craig, my previous boss, as well as the directors, Donny, Chris, and Andy, and the rest of my team, Anthony, Elliot, Matthew, and Lindsay, for helping me along the way.
Fantastic. Well done. And thank you, Matthew. I thoroughly enjoyed that time we spent together. We had some good fun. And I think, again, what a great example of somebody that, whilst might be fairly new in their career, already portraying themselves and Applebridge Construction in such a promising and positive way. So well done to everybody involved. Next award, this one is the Going the Extra Mile Award. And this one is kindly sponsored by Chevron. What do we know about this one, Stuart?
Okay, I've realised obviously what everybody does is sort of guess along to who this reveal is as we'll get there. So it could become fairly obvious fairly quickly, but we'll play that game anyway.
Yeah.
This award relates to a particular project, and the project was delivered on behalf of Northumbrian Water and the Environment Agency and North Tyneside Council, who together were investing over £5 million to manage surface water. Now, not only was this scheme completed on time and within budget and delivering its stated objectives, but it's also managed to bring a massive amount of benefit to local stakeholders, hence the Going the Extra Mile Award. So that boils down to engagement with 15 MSc Environmental Management and Practice students from Northumbria Uni, engagement with over 300 local primary school children, including a site visit by 15 students who actually got hands-on and directly involved with the project, which is really good to see.
Absolutely.
And also by providing additional landscaping and improved wheelchair access and seating and footpaths to this particular scheme. So in announcing the winner, congratulations to Esh Stantec for the Killingworth and Longbenton Phase 3 scheme. Well done.
Fantastic. Well done to Ash Stantec for that award. Well deserved, listening to you talk through that, Stuart. Great work. So our next award, this one for Health and Safety Company of the Year. This award's sponsored by Northern Counties Safety Group. Again, Stuart, I think we've got a real good tee up for this one.
We'll have. So again, give you a bit of background on the winner. This company is currently delivering a key infrastructure project on one of the region's major road networks. So since March 2019, over 764,000 hours have been worked with an accident frequency rate of 0. This has been achieved via a proactive intervention culture with over 1,600 hazards and observations raised to date. In operating a wellness, safety and environment strategy, This company has gone beyond traditional physical occupational health to also focus on the importance of well-being, which I think is really important in these times.
Absolutely is.
So, some of the interventions and safety innovations that have been developed include an interactive induction process using a 4D BIM model, and dedicated rest facilities, including a well-being cafe, breakout areas, an occupational health room, and a multi-faith prayer room. Judges commented on this decision and this company due to the positive approach they've taken across a number of initiatives, including the use of shortened interactive inductions, wellness assessments, mental health awareness, and the introduction of practical safety innovations. They will undoubtedly have a positive impact on the business as a whole. So, the winner is Costain for the A19 Testos junction improvements. Well done, Costain.
Fantastic. Well done. Excellent. Okay, so onwards and upwards to our next award. This one for Training Company of the Year, kindly sponsored by CITB. And, you know, I've already getting a picture, Stuart. This is going to be another one of those ones whereby there's going to be something fantastic that they've done to deservedly win this award.
Absolutely, Danny. And I think everybody who's submitted an award this year, and as I said at the start, winners or not winners, actually gave us some amazing, amazing qualities and innovations and developments that the companies have undertaken. So I must reiterate, well done to everybody who submitted for an award. Some excellent submissions. But there is one winner, and in the Training Company of the Year, let me describe the winner. This company stood out for several reasons, but the successful launch of a training academy is a significant intervention to increase in-house and third-party accredited training. Delivered from a purpose-built 11-acre site. Some of you might know who this is now. The company facilitates specialist training via a partnership with local FE colleges and provides hands-on experience to students in a safe and controlled environment. Furthermore, they've worked closely with Job Centre Plus to provide training to those who actually may not have been able to access training in the past. Adopting technological innovations has also been welcomed, and utilising their own plant training simulator to deliver training in a safe environment is another intervention this company's undertaken. Furthermore, they've developed a digital portal to facilitate the monitoring, organising and booking of training. The training ethos can be summarised with the following statement, and this comes directly from the winning company. We understand that one of our largest assets is our highly skilled and trained workforce, and that we must continue to invest money, time and resources to ensure that we strive to improve our high standards through additional training and upskilling of our employees. So, the winner of the award is Seymour Civil Engineering Contractors. Well done to Seymour.
Indeed, well done to Seymour. Fantastic job, and some brilliant examples there of, you know, good practices, but also evolution, really. I mean, really transforming the space in which they're working in. So well done. Great work all round. Okay, onwards then to the Environmental Company of the Year, this time sponsored thanks to Jewson Civils. What do we know about this entrant, Stuart?
Okay, thanks, Danny. The environmental benefits of this particular scheme were numerous. The partnership and collaborative approach allowed the organisations to share funding and jointly procure design and construction services to work together to find a solution that would benefit all partners. A sustainable approach was agreed at the outset, and this involved the following: the development of a more innovative solution rather than the one based on conventional drainage systems, an environmentally sensitive approach throughout delivery, including sophisticated waste management processes and increased use of recycled materials, and finally, introducing added value opportunities, including enhanced biodiversity using specially constructed floating ecosystems. So the winner for this project, for the Environmental Company of the Year, is Esh Stantec, and that relates to the Killingworth and Longbenton Phase 3 scheme.
Well done. And of course, a second award for that particular project. And I'd like to share with you now a short film that was created to show not just the project in creation, but for me, the impact and the engagement that it had with the local community.
Hello, my name is Richard Brown, Project Manager for Esh Stantec, working on behalf of Northumbria Water. We're here at Killingworth Lakeside Park, delivering Killingworth and Longbenton Site 5 and 7, a flood alleviation project to protect 3,500 homes in the area. We're here today with Biomatrix, helping to introduce some floating islands or ecosystems to help improve the water quality of the lake and provide better habitat for the wildlife that uses it.
It is to help to improve the biodiversity. Biomatrix is installing floating islands, floating ecosystems worldwide to help improve biodiversity, water quality, and providing natural habitat for bacteria, for wildlife, for fish, for waterfowl. So to really improve the habitat and bring some ecology life back.
Hi, I'm Lynn Preston, Project Manager from Northumbrian Water. We've been working on this Killingworth Lake project with North Tyneside Council and the Environment Agency for several years now, and we're getting towards the end. So we've got Westmore School here today helping plant up the new floating islands, which I think is the first time floating islands have been used in Northumbrian Water area.
School council with us today, and they've just popped along to help plant all of the plants in the little bays. It's very exciting. It beats a bit of maths and English at school, and they're having such a lovely time today. What a good experience it's been.
Well done to Esh Stantec, and more importantly, I feel genuinely inspired watching that film. You know, so many people involved, but actually people getting involved and really enjoying being a part of something. So great work all round.
Good to see.
It is, absolutely. Really it is really good to see. Let's just touch in with our charity. I don't want to keep harping on about this. How are we getting on so far? So we're at £620. So we broke our target. So well done to you if you've contributed towards that. We do really appreciate it. I also appreciate that some people saying, I'm watching the awards. I'm not messing about donating to that while I'm in the middle of watching the awards. So don't worry, we'll keep it open afterwards, and I won't keep harping on about it any more than I already have. So onwards then to the Project of the Year Awards. And we start with the first one, which is the under £1 million category. This one is sponsored by MSF. So thank you to MSF for their sponsorship and their contribution. Stuart, what do we know about this one?
Okay, and before I describe the winner, I just want to again reiterate a key point for CECA, which is that due to the discussions with the CECA board, we've decided over the years to evolve the Project of the Year to try and be able to celebrate larger and smaller projects, because of course maybe in the past not everybody's felt they could enter for a smaller scheme that they've taken part in. Hence why this year and for last year as well, we've had an under 1 million category and a 1 to 5 and a 5+. And I think we'll probably look to continue that moving forward to try and celebrate the fact that there's some marvellous projects going on, really clever, innovative projects going on, but not always at multi-millions of pounds level. So onto the 1 million and under Project of the Year. So the winning scheme involved working to tight timescales in a difficult environment delivering the sequential demolition and reconstruction of sewage inlet works. Using technical engineering excellence, innovation and ingenuity, the team used 3D models to develop the sequence of works enabling client, design and construction teams to visualize each of the key stages. The model helped to minimize both wastage of materials and risk to workers, resulting in no lost time to injuries or environmental accidents in over 16,000 hours worked. The design and construction contract was ultimately completed ahead of its planned completion date and delivered within target cost. An excellent project, I'm sure you'll agree. So the winner of the Project of the Year, under £1 million, is Mark McDonald Bentley for the Seaham Sewage Treatment Works Inlet Works Upgrade Scheme. Well done.
Fantastic. And I was able to catch up with Jamie Boswell just recently, just to talk about some aspects of that project.
So the project we put forward for the awards was Seaham Inlet Works. It was a works built in the mid-90s as part of the Coastal Regeneration Programme. And it had reached the end of its operational life, basically. Quite a few mechanical assets, very old school, very difficult to maintain. And Northumbrian Water wanted to come into the 21st century. So we offered them sort of an almost brand new inlet works built within the existing works itself, changed the geometry of the place, and went from some drum screens, which are old and nasty, into band screens, which are nice and shiny. And there's real difficulties with getting the geometry to work on site, and works quite into quite a lot of detail in design to make sure that when we hit site with a project, we were able to just absolutely hit the ground running, and was able to do the works really quickly, to be honest.
Thank you, Jamie, for sharing that with us. It is worth pointing out there's some really great comments of congratulations in the chat. If you don't have it open, do feel free to open it up. There's some really nice sort of follow-ons from the different awards that are being won out there this afternoon. Onwards then to the next Project of the Year award. This one for the £1 to £5 million bracket. This one's sponsored by Rainton Construction, so thank you to them. Stuart, what do we know about this one?
Okay, so for this winning project, the existing two-lane carriageway was widened to provide an additional bus lane, two-way segregated cycling and a pedestrian route. Bulk excavation was required to an existing steep embankment along a narrow corridor to allow the construction of a new retaining wall and enable the road to be widened. The original retaining wall design utilised precast units, but an alternative was proposed by the contractor. A contractor designed soil-nailed slope with traditional cavity-filled retaining wall, steepening the temporary slope angle and reducing the excavation, and a disposal of 2,000 metres cubed, providing both time and cost savings. A technically complex project delivering economic, social and environmental value. Judges commented, an excellent solution that adds value across a number of areas and indicates benefits of ECI. So, announcing the winner, congratulations to Esh Civils for the Hadricks Mill scheme. Well done, Esh.
Fantastic. Well done, Ash. And in turn, I got to speak to Steve Conn, who was able to tell me a little bit about the project.
Killingworth Road is an important strategic link from Gosforth Business Park into the central western areas of Newcastle. And Esh Construction won a contract to carry out major earthworks and, at the time, temporary works to afford stability so that a new retaining wall and carriageway could be constructed to widen the existing road. Once we'd won the tender, we approached the client and said that we thought that we could add value into the scheme by incorporating our temporary works into their permanent works and simplifying their permanent works design, gaining benefit for them and a benefit for us in the scheme, in that we would have to excavate less material.
Thank you, Steve, for taking the time to talk to me. Onwards now then, staying in the £1 to £5 million project bracket, but this time onto the highly commended project of the year, again sponsored by Rainton Construction. An extra award here, Stuart, I think.
Yes, the judges really had a tough time. Genuinely, there was quite a high number of submissions into this category, all excellent submissions, and I'm afraid probably a number of disappointed people haven't submitted because there was really quite a lot of competition for this one. Anyway, I will announce that we decided to award a highly commended award in this category. So I'll describe the scheme for you. This was designed to help improve performance of a combined sewer system and reduce the occurrence of flooding at properties in the Elvet area of Durham. The contractor worked with Northumbrian Water to develop an alternative technical solution to a complex problem using detailed hydraulic modelling. Again, great use of technology. Aside from engineering excellence, this project was notable for its approach to health and safety, managing the combined hazards of buried services and the people and plant interface, culminating in 0 service strikes and incidents and accidents. Furthermore, the overall performance was exceptional, with efficiencies meaning a dramatic reduction in the expected duration of the programme and, ultimately, a shared saving of almost £500,000. So, well done on a highly commended award for Mott MacDonald Bentley for the Durham City Sewage Surface Water Separation.
Well done to them. Onwards then to the final Project of the Year award, this one in the over £5 million category, and our headline sponsor, Core People, looking after this one for us. So again, thank you to Victoria and the team there. So over 5 million, big project this one, Stuart, I think.
Absolutely, and a notable project that many of us will know and use and benefit from, I'm sure. So, the design of this project required construction of the North East's first triple-decker roundabout. That might give the game away. With a new underpass built underneath and the existing roundabout, this required top-down construction of 3 integral bridges and significant cantilever retaining wall on a small, and I mean small, highly constrained site footprint. There was also a requirement to maintain 2 live lanes between 6 AM and 8 PM daily to facilitate 80,000 plus vehicle movements each day. The scheme demonstrates technical excellence and ingenuity, and throughout design and construction, sustainability was key and significant efforts made to minimise the carbon footprint. An exemplary health and safety record included 750,000 hours worked incident-free, and through ECI, the team proactively influenced the design for safety. The junction is now safer, diverting 50% of existing traffic through the new underpass, whilst improving existing routes for non-motorised users by separating them from fast-moving traffic. Despite many challenges faced, the scheme was delivered to the original programme and agreed budget. Underpinning the scheme's success has been the truly collaborative relationship developed between Highways England, the contractor, WSP, and the supply chain. So, the winner for the Over 5 Million Project of the Year award is John Siskinson for the A19 A1058 Coast Road improvements. Congratulations.
Indeed, congratulations. And I'd like to move over now to a short piece of drone footage of the A19 Silverlink project. A fantastic piece of footage that, and really does show off the level of complexity involved in the project, I'm sure. But for me, you know, just really remarkable to see it in its glory from in the sky. I also had the time to spend with James Keogh to talk a bit about the project and what that meant to them, you know, throughout.
The junction of the A19 A1058 is a very unusual junction for highways in the network. Namely, the A1058 is the local authority road which was operating under free flow, whilst the A19, which is north-south Highways England Road, was constrained by a set of traffic lights on the roundabout underneath the A1058. This was deemed to be a restriction to the future development of the area, including the Cobalt Industrial Estate, which is one of the largest such estates in Europe. And a free flow design was developed by WSP. We commenced work on site, initial work on site diverting gas mains and temporary works in September 2015, and we ultimately opened the road to traffic on the 31st of March 2019. It required quite close coordination and planning in relation to diversion of traffic management and stats diversions. We ultimately created a free flow junction by creating an in-situ trough that made up of over 580 in-situ piles up to a diameter of 1,500. Required a sequential bridging construction of 3 bridges in a detailed sequence and significant local traffic diversions, all whilst maintaining traffic flows of up to 80,000 cars a day running through the live junction. We maintained great team spirit and good fun during the overall project.
Thank you, James, and thank you for squeezing me in just before your flight back home to Dublin. I do really appreciate it. A great project. And so now on to our final award for this afternoon, and it is the Lifetime Achievement Award, this one sponsored by Knights PLC. A great award, this one, Stuart, and I'm really keen to hear what you've got to say.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks, Danny. So, yes, this award nicely, if you like, caps off the awards part of our proceedings this afternoon. There is a little bit more afterwards, which you might want to stick around for. But let me describe this person. This individual has been an active board member of CECA North East since April 2013, bringing his experience of several decades as a civil engineer, a manager and a director to the party. In his glittering career, he has presided over the stewardship and impressive growth of one of the better-known firms in the region, delivering successful and award-winning projects ranging from highways to water to local heritage, as well as sophisticated flood defence schemes, among others. Importantly, he has managed to embed a strong and positive culture within the business, leading to high staff loyalty and really high staff retention levels. However, it's important to recognise his impact not just on the company, but on the wider civil engineering community. And this can't be understated. He's championed local employment, providing opportunities for dozens of apprentices to build a career in construction. He's championed local training, forging links with local educational institutions, and culminating in the opening of a purpose-built training academy last year. Furthermore, he has been a strong voice in championing women in construction, actively employing a diverse workforce and developing talented future leaders. He's also relentlessly pursued the improvement of health and safety standards and practices, and recently contributing significantly to CECA's CDM guide, which we're extremely grateful for. To gain further insight, we found a quote from a company employee. And before I read this out, I actually read it and thought, I'm sure there could have been dozens of company employees who would have provided almost exactly the same quote. And I'm sure you'll agree. He is a leader, a fantastic role model, and an inspiration to his employees. He has excellent motivational skills and is always very understanding. His knowledge is second to none, and he thrives on sharing this information and helping all employees. A great, great quote there. On a personal note, before I announce this person, although I'm sure many of you will have guessed already, I would just like to say that I would recommend this person as being extremely wise, extremely thoughtful, thought-provoking, and somebody who really gets into the detail, but is really always available to help out. And on a number of occasions, I've picked up the phone and asked for help and advice and support, and it's come back in spades. So this person will be a really big miss to the CECA North East board. So, without further ado, the Lifetime Achievement Award winner for this year goes to Kevin Byrne.
Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin quite recently, and, you know, doing a job like I do, I have the privilege of meeting, you know, every year, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. But every now and again, you meet somebody that in a matter of no time at all makes a real dent. They make a mark that you just connect with and think about the kind of impact they've probably had on other people. And Kevin's definitely one of those people. So I feel genuinely privileged to share this little bit of something from Kevin.
Where did my career start and how did I get into construction? Basically, it's a family history. My father, my uncles, they were all in construction. But actually, when I was at grammar school and doing the A-levels, I'd actually passed and qualified to go to Hull University to do economics. My dad always thought it was a great idea to go to Hull University because I was thin at the time and Cambridge wouldn't fit on my sweatshirt. But basically, I didn't want to go. I wanted to be, as I perceived it at the time, in a more of a man's world. Having said that, probably a degree in economics, I'd have been a city slicker by now. But so I decided to go away to university, and I started a degree in construction economics, which was QS bias. Following that, I went to the Isle of Grain in Kent, which was a massive, massive project. At the time, in 1979, it was £85 million, so you put that into context. I was very, very fortunate because I saw every aspect of civil engineering. And then, unfortunately, the recession came, and although I was going down the quantity surveying route, there had to be a change of tack, and they were letting people go. And they said, well, we need you as a quantity surveyor, but we also need you to branch out and finish your training in civil engineering. And that was a lucky break for me, which I did. And when I left the Isle of Grain in 1982, I moved then to Cumbrian Industrials in Penrith and went in there to be an estimator. On leaving Penrith in 87, I had a spell working in Barrow-in-Furness on the reclamation sites for Dudden Construction, and then I moved over to Seymour's in 1989, where I was taken on as the chief estimator. I then moved on in 1996 to director, and then in 2012 to managing director. So it seems to have been a quick 40 years, 42 years. Things I remember distinctly, and most things I remember if you ask me.
What a worthy winner, I'm sure many of you would agree. Thank you very much indeed. So, as we near the end of our awards, and although we have no more awards to give out this afternoon, I'd like to just share a very short compilation of all of the winners that we've seen this afternoon, and some pictures and some insight into some of the projects that we've talked to you about. Well done to everybody involved. Stuart, final words?
Okay, so I've gone from almost dreading delivering this this awards to I'm almost going to have to get dragged off the stage shortly, but I will try and keep it brief because I know that it's Friday afternoon and many of you have got other commitments and what have you. So in closing from me, we've got a lot to look forward to, I think, in the industry next year, hopefully. And the amount of projects that are coming on stream, the amount of funding that's coming through from government, the work in highways, the work in rail, the work in energy and renewables, the work in the net zero project in Teesside and the Teesworks site, and all of the public realm developments around the region, across the region's towns and cities. I really hope we've got a lot to be optimistic about as an industry and as a group of individuals working in a particular sector. I could talk much more about that, and I'd almost love to, but I'm not going to because I recognise the time. So, in closing comments from me, can I say thank you to everybody who's attended this afternoon. We really appreciate your support and delighted that so many of you have tuned in and stayed with us right the way through. Excellent, and thank you. Thank you to all of our sponsors who have come with us on this journey and been willing to, again, take a little bit of a risk and back us for something that we've not done before. So thanks to all of the sponsors. Thank you to the award winners and all the highly commended award winners. And in fact, everybody who took the time and effort in a particularly busy time with people not being in work, people being affected by the pandemic and what have you, to still take the time to make those submissions. We know it takes time and we really appreciate you doing that, each and every one of you. Thanks to all CECA members who again have continued to work with us, and also all of the wider civil engineering stakeholder community. This is a whole industry effort, and we all know that we're all interdependent on each other for success. So thanks to everyone, including contractors, clients, consultants, or everybody in the supply chain. It's a really brilliant effort from everyone. Second, lastly, from me, I'd like to say thank you to the guys who you can't see, but are surrounding me in the room here from PTI, who have been unbelievably helpful and professional and have nursemaided me through this process and made it actually really, really simple and straightforward. So thanks to, I hope I get everyone's name right, obviously Danny and Luke and Jack and Lucy and Shannon. Thank you so much. I cannot stress enough how good you've been. And thank you to Vicky in the office at CECA, who has been unbelievable, working far and above the sort of call of duty. The hours that Vicky's put in to put all of this stuff together. If I could do a proper virtual, or a proper sort of round of applause and hand over that bottle of champagne, I would do. So thanks to Vicky. I think I can see you still watching, Vicky, so well done to you. Okay, so thanks everybody. I'll hand lastly over to Danny and have a great weekend and evening, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Thank you. Well, I think Stuart said it all. The comments are also piling in now. So Thank you so much for taking part. The charity link is still open. So feel free, if you do feel that you can do something, then anything would be appreciated. But for me, it's been an absolute pleasure being involved in this over the last few months. And to see it all come together has been brilliant, rewarding. So thank you to all of you. Have a fantastic Christmas, an enjoyable weekend still to come, but most importantly, stay safe, keep well, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon.